Hey everyone, I'm Anne, and in today's video I'd like to chat for a bit with you guys as I paint in the background. Today's topic is about the chronically offline trend that has become popular in the last months. I have been semi-offline for a few years now, and as this discourse has evolved, I have compiled some of my thoughts to share with you all. Before we start, I just want to give a disclaimer about the painting I'm showing in the footage. Your girl was supposed to replicate a picture that I took in Rio de Janeiro, and that is what I did at first, but I was stupid and I deleted the footage of the start of the painting. It was very pleasing and cute, and it's gone. Also, in the footage that is going to play right after this disclaimer, I almost ruined the whole painting. I made like huge mistakes and I almost gave up. You're gonna see how horrible it looks. So overall, this video is a bit of a mess, but I guess it serves its purpose to show you all how I have been living my life offline, with hobbies and major failures that almost ruined my projects. But yeah, those are part of growing too, so feel very welcome to watch me almost failing this painting and then having to fix it. In the end it worked out, but I just wanted to explain why I'm not showing the process from the start. Also, you guys, I am in no way a reference in oil painting. I actually don't know any techniques. I have never taken any art class. So I'm just vibing here. So please don't copy what I'm doing in this video because I have no idea what I'm doing. If any of you know something about oil painting and want to give me some tips or feedback, please do so. I'll really take it into account and try to get better for the next videos. Now let's get back to the video. I'm sure all of us have seen videos or posts of people that have deleted their social media or who are trying to get offline and enjoy the quote-unquote real world. Though social media has been around for a few years now, I think 2025 was the year in which we all officially realized how worrying our screen times are. The addictive algorithms, rage bait, brain rot, and AI slop have impacted our perception of what social media is supposed to be. Is it like a heaven-like space that breeds innovation and allows its users to meet people all over the world? Or is it just another mechanism of the rich to keep us alienated and profit off of our loneliness? This shift in mindset has led to a rebellious trend of people logging off social media for good. And many people are going analog now, deleting their social media profiles, choosing to own things physically instead of signing up to streaming services. It's like we're finally touching grass. Some even argue that going offline has become the new status symbol of Gen Z, which I think is a bit over the top, but I'll talk about it later. The point is that social media is problematic and we are more aware of its impacts now than we have ever been. Also because it is at the worst point that it has ever been. We know how social media alienates us from real connections, it destroys our attention spans, political engagement, and critical thinking skills. It doesn't allow us to rest or create properly. It shows us more ads than content nowadays. It makes us addicted to quick dopamine. It entices us into performing every aspect of our lives. And it just makes us waste our precious time scrolling mindlessly, only to consume useless Italian brain rot or rage bait marketing or AI-generated content. But at this point, what can we do about all of that? And I guess the question that I'm really meaning to ask in this video is getting chronically offline the solution for all of our postmodern troubles? Is it really gonna change your life the way people are promising it is? Well, as someone who's been kinda offline myself, I can offer a bit of insight, not only about life offline, but also about how the mind of someone who grew up addicted to scrolling works, which is like 90% of Gen Alpha nowadays. I think I started using the internet when I was 7, when I was gifted an iPad from my parents, and I started using YouTube. In the same iPad, I installed Musical.ly a few months later, and I guess that was the point in which I got used to the scrolling algorithms. For those of you who don't know, Musical.ly was the precursor app to TikTok, so it already had that scrolling feature, but it was not infinite and it was not as addictive. It was much simpler at the time. Then from like 7 to 11 years old, I installed other social media apps. Musical.ly became TikTok, and I was just living life, having unrestricted access to internet, which then when I was 11 years old, the pandemic started, and from like 11 to 12 years old, my mental health started deteriorating a lot. And I figured that I was getting so much anxious because of Instagram and TikTok. I was very scared of other people's opinions, and it was like I had developed a social anxiety for posting things online. I couldn't like other people's posts. I was embarrassed of commenting on my friends' posts. I was just terrified of the internet and people and of the people I knew, and it was getting really bad. I deleted Instagram in December of 2020. It was not that big of a deal, but I think it was like the first step for me to realize how social media was affecting my mental health. And from this time period to when I was like 16 years old, I re-downloaded Instagram, then deleted it again, or TikTok was the same thing. I deleted it for a while, then I reinstalled it, and I continued using other social medias at the time. So I hadn't taken like any extreme decision, but I already started questioning some things. I remember there was one time in 2023 that I was with a friend of mine in the mall, and she led us to the Dior store because she wanted to buy its lip gloss. That one that was really trendy in 2023. And I didn't understand why she wanted this specific lip gloss because I didn't have TikTok and I was just confused, but I was okay with it, so we went there. Then a few months later, I re-downloaded TikTok and I realized why she wanted that seemingly random lip gloss. It was because it was trending. And what really scared me at the time was that with just a few weeks of seeing this lip gloss in other people's videos and in their, I don't know, pretty purses and in their beautiful makeup, I was starting to want that lip gloss too. So this consumerist craze that social media creates in us, it really bothered me. So yeah, in that time period, I really started questioning a lot of stuff. And leading to my 16th birthday, I realized that I no longer wanted to use social media because I felt like it only harmed me. It didn't bring me any good. I only compared myself. I couldn't make real connections. I didn't feel comfortable posting my life. I didn't feel comfortable seeing other people's lives who I didn't want to engage with. And I just saw no purpose in continuing doing that, and I saw that it made me waste so much time, and I had so much things that I wanted to do but I couldn't because I would spend my afternoon scrolling through a social media app that just harms me. So I decided that in my 16th birthday I would delete all of my social media. At the time I think I had TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and I deleted TikTok and Instagram, and I haven't installed any of them since, and it really changed my life. I have not deleted YouTube, and I think that's pretty obvious because I am posting on YouTube right now, but it's actually been kind of a struggle with YouTube and with other streaming services, but I'll talk about that later. From this semi offline experience that I've had, I realized that I feel way happier now that I don't have social media. There are so many things that I've realized that improved in my life after I deleted social media. I feel way more confident in myself. I don't compare myself nearly as much as I did at that time. I'm not influenced to buy useless things and like things that I feel like people are only buying because they're trending. I only buy stuff when I feel the lack of them in my day-to-day life or when it's something that really interests me. So I'm not guided by trends anymore. I feel no more pressure to perform, and I feel no more pressure to post pictures of the places I go or to even take pictures when I go places because I don't feel like I need to post something or tell people whenever I get out of the house. Having this privacy or secrecy or just intimacy with myself is very rewarding. I feel like I have much more time to want stuff, think about what I actually want, and to actually want it, and to dedicate my time to those things. And I just feel like I've been living life as it is and not as what I want it to look like. However, despite all these advantages, not everything is perfect, and life is way more complicated than we'd like it to be. I realized that a lot of things changed in my life after I deleted social media. My social life took a big hit after I deleted Instagram, mostly because as I stopped seeing my friends like every day in Instagram stories or posts, I felt way more lonely, because that kind of felt like human connection. I felt like I was catching up with them, that I was seeing what they were doing, so it felt like I was connecting with them. And maybe it is a bit like that because I did miss that connection when I deleted Instagram. And as I deleted the app and stopped posting stories myself, I realized that no one really knew about what was going on with me anymore. And as time went by, I realized that few people cared enough to text me and to really catch up and to really know what was going on with me. And I feel like that made me distinguish my real friends, which were the friends that I wanted to message, the friends that I actually missed after I deleted Instagram, the ones that I wanted to catch up with and I wanted to have real human connection with, from the ones who I thought were my friends but were actually just lives that I was seeing through the screens, and who didn't care to message me. Maybe they didn't miss seeing me in their social media, or who just did not value the connection outside of it. So making that distinction and realizing how much different human connection is when you don't have social media as the medium of your relationships was very weird, but also a very clarifying experience and realization for me. One other thing that I realized when I deleted Instagram and TikTok was that despite having deleted both of those apps, my screen time was still very high because I still found a way to waste my time or to consume content passively. That is how I actually got kind of addicted to YouTube. I deleted Instagram and TikTok because I saw how those social media harmed me and how I was better off without them than with them. But with YouTube, I still feel that sort of numbing comfort that comes with consuming content, and especially content that I feel that maybe it might bring something to my life. I consume educational content on YouTube, and I also consume like some foolish or silly content on YouTube, but I think that there is space for both of those things in life. The thing is that I accidentally exchanged one addiction to another in this digital space. I have struggled with my quote unquote addiction to YouTube ever since I deleted social media, because it is a website that I enjoy very much, but I have wasted a lot of time in this website. And I don't say wasted because I was just watching content. It's just that there were moments in which I realized that I didn't want to watch anything and I was just scrolling through the main feed, or that I was not even paying attention to the video that was in the background. I just felt like I needed to hear something. And that is what I realized that had scarred me from having internet access so early and so unrestricted, and to having been addicted to scrolling for a long time, which is that I'm afraid to be permanently offline. I'm kind of scared of not having something to distract me, and I realize that that is something that a lot of people feel nowadays. The truth is that when something becomes so entrenched and integral to your modern life, like social media has become to all of our lives, getting completely rid of it seems like almost an impossible task. And as I was explaining earlier, I often feel like I've become so used to reading and hearing other people's thoughts online and looking at other people online and watching YouTube videos in the background of my life, that when I'm not hearing or seeing something or having that digital space to turn back to, I feel anxious, as if I'm scared of going mad when I'm alone with my thoughts, when I don't have this comforting content to turn back to. And yes, I know that that sounds a bit insane, but the fact is that almost every teenager and adult, and even older people at this point, they are addicted to their phones, and we either have felt or will feel these types of effects in our lives due to the degree of our addictions. And children, especially, that grow up accustomed to always having a video to watch and to scroll infinitely when their parents need them to shut up, these kids won't be able to do any of these things that we are choosing to do. We can choose to go analog and to delete our social media and to try to live our life in the way that people who used to live before social media. But I feel like these kids that have grown up so dependent on the phones and the screens, they won't be able to do that. They don't know how life is without social media, and they won't ever be accustomed to it. Recently, I read a quote that was something like, "Before, we used to go to the internet to escape from the real world. Now we go to the real world to escape the internet." And I think this quote explains a lot of what's going on right now. Before social media, the internet was a place to escape from our modern life and from our real life troubles, because it seems like this magical realm of reality in which we were safe from whatever was carrying us outside. But now, in our simulacral existence, we are so addicted to social media that our lives are lived more online than offline. Your memories are in your Photos app. Your IDs are in your phone. Your social life is in the internet, in social media. We buy stuff here, we learn stuff here, and we waste all of our time here. There's no distinction between the real and the digital anymore, and that is why it's so hard to go chronically offline. It feels like we're giving up on a part of our lives and a part of modern life as a whole that only exists in the digital space, and it no longer exists in the real space. And we are so scared of being completely offline that some claim it has become a new luxury of our generation. Just like health and self-care have both become a luxurious trend of the wealthy. But I can't see that as a form of luxury. I can only see it as a luxury if the luxury in this case is being able to perceive how much harm this medium has been causing to ourselves. And maybe self-care and self-knowledge is a luxury and it is a privilege. I don't know. But I feel like it is also worrying that we see it as a luxury, especially since the internet should be this place to self-express and to realize things about yourself. We have so many information nowadays, and yet being able to look inwards and to prioritize yourself over the medium that seems to be so rigged nowadays is seen as a luxury. But I digress. I think I have gone out of topic right now. I like to talk also about an element of nostalgia that I think is present in this analog trend and in going offline. It's like a longing for the past, like the 2000s, the life that wasn't so entrenched with the internet, and we felt excited for things that were outside of social media, that they were still in the realm of the real. For example, the 2026 is the new 2016 trend just makes me think about how much people long for simpler times, for times in which things were not so complicated and so calculated. Everything in the internet feels so commodified nowadays, and in comparison, 2016 seems like this time in which we were all just having fun and expressing ourselves in the way we knew how. And this trend of going analog and of buying stuffs and of owning things physically instead of subscribing to them or owning a digital copy, while I see value in this trend, I feel like it grabs this element of nostalgia that a lot of people feel from like their childhoods or from simpler times, maybe, and they turn it into a new form of lifestyle, right? This life in which you escaped the enslavement of the digital age and of social media websites. However, I still feel like this trend is just a new form of consumerism. It is another trend that tries to sell you a lifestyle to which you can only fulfill if you buy these 5 essential elements, which are like having a dumb phone, which is like a Nokia, and having a journaling ecosystem so that you can register your thoughts in paper, and having CDs, vinyls, that is the way in which we're gonna be freed of the internet's deathly grasp in your social life and in your mental health. No, it's not. Being offline does not mean that you need to have any of these things. Going offline is as simple as deleting social media. I feel like being offline can mean many things. In my case, it means getting rid of mediums that harm me or that I feel guilty after using, but I still allow myself to watch YouTube and to post on YouTube, and I allow myself to watch some of my favorite shows from time to time. You don't need to own a Kodak and all of your favorite movies on DVD or have 3 physical planners to be offline. This shouldn't be just another trend that's being sold to us. And that is why I strongly believe that if anyone wishes to live their life offline, even if that means only deleting one social media app or just restricting your screen time to 4 hours a day instead of 8, I think that should mean that this person is making a move for themselves, for their mental health, and that this is a part of the chronically offline movement. Maybe they're not chronically offline, but they're offline in a way that benefits them and represents a rebellion against the economic and social pressure that society imposes on us. Anyway, that is what I believe, and these have been some thoughts that I have compiled in the last couple of months and that I have developed after seeing this discourse online and all the different manifestations that have appeared. And to end this video, I wanted to tell you guys, and especially for the people who might be thinking about getting offline for a while or taking their first steps out in the real world, what are some challenges and some advantages of this movement. What I have heard and seen from other people who have partly or entirely deleted social media is that you kind of have to relearn how to live life offline. You have to relearn how to wake up without checking your phone first thing in the morning. You have to relearn how to sleep in silence. Some people shower with their phones and scrolling, and you'll have to relearn how to do that as well. You have to relearn how to connect with your friends when you don't have social media as the middleman. You have to relearn how to get inspiration that's not from Pinterest, and how to find inspiration and creativity from within yourself. You have to relearn how to rest and how to not overwork yourself just because you don't have nothing that's not work to stimulate you. And you have to relearn how to deal with your own thoughts by yourself, to hear your own ideas, to form your own opinions, and to keep them to yourself. And all that may sound very challenging, and it is really challenging and uncomfortable, and that is why getting offline is so hard. It's very uncomfortable, especially because sometimes it may cause like a chemical shift in our brains, but building this discipline or this strength can have so many advantages. You'll realize how time passes a bit slower when you can't doom scroll as soon as you get home. When you don't have social media, you suddenly have so much time and energy to do so much things in your house. And you'll find that you'll actually enjoy them when you find that you don't have something easier and more entertaining to do in your phone. You realize how different your self-perception and your self-worth will be when you don't have perfect bodies and faces and lives to compare yourself to. You'll be able to enjoy the places you go to without worrying about what you're going to post about that place, or worrying about having the perfect outfit or having the perfect makeup. You'll learn to just be yourself. You'll learn how to have your own style, taste, wish lists, goals, and ideals without being influenced by trends, ads, or algorithms. You'll also get your values and opinions from real life and not from what the internet wants you to think, which is great, especially in the political climate that we're living in. You'll learn how real connection feels like when it is not mediated or influenced by algorithms and apps. And you'll realize how much life there is out of social media and how rich it can be on its own. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really loved making it, both filming it and recording the voiceover and sharing some of my thoughts with you has been amazing, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as well. If you have any feedbacks and any opinions you'd like to share, please comment them down below. I will be so happy to read them and interact with you guys and hear what you're thinking and some of your experiences. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys soon.